Hey, what's up guys? This is Diablo 4 Season 1 Druid build guide. Let's jump into it. So I took 4 builds. I took Pulverize, Shred, Lightning, and Tornado just to see which one was the most efficient at leveling up with. I didn't take any legendaries with these builds. I did them with just pure yellow and blue items. If you get any legendaries, obviously you want to make it most efficient for you. So if you do get any good legendaries for your build, just make sure that you use them because it is going to help. But just for purely experimental purposes, I just took yellow items, so I just wanted to make it fair. Starting off with Pulverize. Pulverize is okay, but it scales in a lot later in the game, almost like 60, 70 plus, and it is very dependent on legendaries to kind of get going. Just based off of its skills alone, it does okay clear. Well, it does good clear. It just like obliterates anything in a very kind of like small radius. But when it comes down to the single target boss fight or elite mobs, it takes too long and you have to rely on your overpower to take down the enemies, and it just sometimes it just doesn't proc, and it takes so long for you to just try and take it down. It's very inconsistent, and an inconsistent build isn't a good leveling build, and that is the reason why I've put it at the bottom. Jumping into the second build is going to be Shred. Shred is a great build throughout the entire game, from 0, 25, 50, 100. Obviously, backed up by legendaries. You're not going to get to 100 without being backed up by legendaries. But with yellow items, you can get into world tier 3 just with yellow items. I have tested it from 0 to 50, and it can do it. And you can do nightmare dungeons with just your yellow items, which is kind of insane for the build. Shred is good at single target. It's mob clear, mob density clear. It's kind of low as it's got a funnel, kind of it attacks in the funnel. So any enemies beyond that funnel aren't going to get attacked, and if you are out of spirit when you are trying to use Shred, you are going to have to auto attack those minions to get them down. But where it comes back is that the poison damage that comes out of it and the crit damage that comes out of Shred, it boosts it back up way above Pulverize, because it can, you're not there just attacking an elite trying to get your spirit back and nothing happens, right? You are just shredding it down. It's taking poison damage, it's taking crit damage. It's a very, very good build. It's great at scaling as well. It scales, as I said, from 0 to 25. Great. It scales into world tier 3 nicely with just yellows. And then it's got good tank as well, because Shred gives you 2% of your life back. And on top of that, Bloodhound gives you 5% crit chance and also increased attack speed. And then also gives you your HP back as well. So it is a very tanky build. For some reason, it feels like it's more tanky than the Werebear build, which is the tank build of the Druid. Kind of crazy. And it's high mobility as well. So this is why I'm putting that at number 2. Okay, so the third build is Lightning and Tornado. And the reason why I put these builds both together is that they take exactly the same path on the skill tree. Well, I mean, one takes Lightning in core skills and one takes Tornado in core skills. You won't be able to put them both together, as you do take an ultimate ability. But we'll move on to the builds in a minute. So why is it good? It's good because it is in between Shred and Pulverize. It doesn't have as good single target as Shred does, and it doesn't have as much clear as Pulverize, but it has a good mixture of both of them. It can clear with Lightning and Tornado very well, especially in some dungeons, as the path is very tiny and you're fitting that Tornado in between that path and it will hit just anything in that path. Lightning, once you get it up to full charge, it will take a full spirit bar to do that, but it will just then one shot, walk through, attack, one shot, walk through, one attack, a one shot. And once you get to an elite, it will take like 2 or 3 lightning strikes to take down the elite. So it's still, again, not as good as Shred, but still incredibly good at single target and incredibly good at clearing out large densities of mobs as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the builds. I'm not going to use Pulverize. I don't think Pulverize is good at leveling up. So I'm not going to explain the skill tree path of Pulverize. I'm just going to explain the skill tree path to Shred and Tornado and Lightning. So jumping into the skill tree of Shred. So this is how I build my Shred build. And it's completely up to you how you want to build yours. This is just kind of how I do mine. So I'll start off with Storm Strike, Enhanced Storm Strike, and then Fierce Storm Strike to just help start proccing some of our damage and make them more vulnerable, therefore doing more damage. Jumping into core skills, Shred, Enhanced Shred, and then Raging Shred, because our poison damage is going to do more than our crit. And we don't have any crit right now. You can switch over later, but completely up to you. Moving back up to our core skills here, we're going to 1 in Heart of the Wild, 3 into Wild Impulse, 3 into Predatory Instinct. If you're wondering why I've left this at 1, just leave it at 1 for now, okay? Moving over to our defensive skills, going to put 1 into Bloodhound, Enhanced Bloodhound, and then Preserving Bloodhound. This is going to help us start doing more damage as we gain more attack speed, and then allowing us to have more tank as we then use Bloodhowl. So moving down to our companion skills here, we're going to put 1 into Poison Creeper, Enhanced Poison Creeper, and Brutal Poison Creeper. It gives us a 20% critical strike chance to when they are hit by Poison Creeper. Now here you can have the decision whether you want to switch from Raging Shred to Primal Shred, because we now have 26% increased critical strike damage from Predatory Instinct and the Poison Creeper. But it's only active when Poison Creeper is being activated, so I tend to just stay in Raging Shred. It feels like it does more damage overall anyway. Then I want to put 5 into Shred, just finishing that off before going down to Wrath. Now we're in our Wrath skills. We're going to put 1 into Neurotoxin, 3 into Envenom, and then 3 into Toxic Claw before you start moving on. Moving down to our ultimate skills, we don't really need to take an ultimate here. Going into Werebear form doesn't really help us, and the Werewolf ultimate doesn't actually do anything. So all we're going to do is take Quick Shift. So here is all of our damage here. All of the damage we've just taken that before we start moving on to some survivability and resource gen. Moving down to our key passes, we're going to be taking Perfect Storm, and I'm going to explain why we're going to be taking that. So Storm skills that you cast grant you 1%, well, sorry, 1 spirit. So that means on top of auto attacking, we get 1 more spirit on top of our auto attacks. And then we're going to take Hurricane, which is going to help us kind of regen some of our spirit. And as we're in large mobs, it will just fill our spirit back up to the top, and which means we can use Shred more. Before we do that, we're going to go back to our ultimate skills and add some tank into the build. So we're going to take Natural Fortitude, Defensive Posture, put 3 into that, and then Nature's Resolve and put 3 into that. You also, sorry, you are putting 3 into Natural Fortitude as well. Moving back over to our Wrath skills, we're going to be taking Hurricane, put 1 into Hurricane, and then put 1 into Enhanced Hurricane, Savage Hurricane, deal 20% less damage, just adding some tankiness into the build, because most of our damage is just going to be coming from the Shred. And then we're going to put 1 into Elemental Exposure, and then 3 into Endless Tempest, giving us more duration of our Hurricane. Moving up back to the top to our defensive skills, we're going to put 1 into Ancestral Fortitude, and then 3 into Vigilance. Core skills, this is completely up to you how you use these. You can either put 1 into Werewolf's movement speed, or you can put 3 into Abundance, getting more resource when you attack. I would personally do this again because you want to be using Shred as much as you can. We're not really worried about moving through these dungeons as fast as possible, but yeah, I mean, you can switch them around if you want to. It's completely up to you. It doesn't really affect the build too much, as most of our resource regen comes from using Hurricane from, again, the Perfect Storm. So jumping into the skill tree of the Lightning Tornado build, they're pretty much exactly the same apart from the core skill. But let's just jump into it. I'll tell you what you will need to change depending on what build you're going to be taking here. But again, they're exactly the same. So we're going to start off with Storm Strike, Enhanced Storm Strike, and Fierce Storm Strike to proc the Vulnerable. Core skills, if you are taking Lightning, take Lightning, put 1 into that. If you are taking Tornado, again, put 1 into that. We can start off with Lightning Storm, Enhanced Lightning Storm, and then Raging Lightning Storm. And then you can take, if you are taking Tornado, and then Enhanced Tornado, and then Raging Tornado to just proc, again, some more vulnerable damage there. Put 1 into Heart of the Wild, and then 3 into Wild Impulse, and then 3 into Predatory Instinct. Moving down to our defensive skills, you're going to be taking Bloodhowl, put 1 into Bloodhowl, Enhanced Bloodhowl, and then Preserving Bloodhowl, just helping us to then increase some of our attack speed there. Means we just get more skills out faster. Then we're going to be putting 3 into Nature's Reach here. Moving down to our Wrath skills, we're going to be taking Hurricane. So we can put 1 into Hurricane, Enhanced Hurricane, and then we're going to put it into Savage Hurricane, just keeping some of our defenses up, because most of our damage is going to be coming from our core skill anyway, not necessarily going to be coming from the vulnerable damage from Natural Hurricane. Now, once you've done this Wrath skill section here, we are going to come back to it in a minute, but then you want to stack out your core skill. So if you took Lightning Storm, stack it up to 5. If you took Tornado, stack it up to 5. Once you've done that, we're going to come back down to our Wrath skills and start stacking the Elemental Exposure, put 1, and then put 3 into Endless Tempest. So once that's done, you want to come down to your ultimate skills and then put 1 into Cataclysm, Primal Cataclysm, and then Supreme Cataclysm, and then put 3 into Defiance, which is going to help, again, stack up some of our damage there. Moving down to our ultimate skills, we're going to put 1 into Perfect Storm. Unlike Shred, we actually get to benefit from that damage increase and the vulnerable damage here, as well as gaining from the Spirit at the same time. Moving back up to our ultimate skills here, so we have our core damage pretty much there. We're going to be putting our defensive skills in here as well. So increase fortify amount that you gain by 5%. The chances when you are struck to fortify you for 4%. So we're going to put the defensive posture and Nature's Resolve, put 3 into there. Moving back up to our Wrath skills, you're then going to put 3 into Bad Omen, but 1 into Ancestral Fortitude, and then 3 into Vigilance. Okay, so moving back up to our core skills here, you can put 3 into abundance, again helping us stack up some more of our spirit regen. Back to our wrath skills, we're going to put 3 into electric shock, and then moving down to just the last section here, back down to our ultimate skills, we're going to put 2 into circle of life, just helping us maintain some of our health whilst we're draining some of our spirit. So those were the 2 skill trees for the shred and lightning build. Again, I didn't want to put pulverize in there just because it's not a good leveling build. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy your new season, and I'll see you in the next one.